Pandakambara ndainziwa bare iko oh Mwari koininda tadze iko.
On 9 June 2021, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe launched the National Disability Policy.
It is incumbent on all of us to shift from perceiving persons with disabilities as objects of charity, medical treatment and social protection, and instead view persons with disabilities as being capable of productively participating in the building of our great country, Zimbabwe.
The Ministry of Public Service, Labour and Social Welfare, which is headed by Honourable Minister Professor Paul Mavima, oversees the implementation of the National Disability Policy, thus overseeing the National Disability Agenda.
Information yakakwana kuti tizive urema hwavo hwainahwo hwakamira sei, zvavanogona nezvipi, malevels avo education akamira sei, mabasa avanogona kuita neapi, kuitira kuti kana tosevenza nepolisi yedu yemadisability tinenge tiine information yakakwana.
Ndiri kuona basa ramuri kuita panapa iri. Nasi isusu Department of Disability Affairs in the Ministry of Public Service, Labour and Social Welfare tashanya muno muchitungwiza Arts Center tichiona basa riri kuitwa nevanhu vakaremara. Mukomana wachimbonditaurirai kuti chii chamakagadzira?
Inonzi Black Rhino.
Black Rhino.
Black Rhino. It's Black Rhino.
White kaimi.
Yeah, ndakaishandisira padombo re-white. Dombo ndo re-white. Rinoitwa dolomite, rinowanikwa ku Mount Darwin. Kutiita kuti tiratidze kuti kuremara kureve kuti chingogara.
Ichokwadi. Uchikumbira.
Ichokwadi.
Nekuti president vakalonja policy ye-disability. Yakati aiwa munhu akaremara ane kodzero dzekushanda muformal labor market kana kuitawo maprojects ake anoita kuti ariritire
mhuri. Ichokwadi, aiwa.
Stones are available here and we do not have them at home. With the exchange programs that we would have started, we can do a lot. And that alone will cater for growing a certain sectors of our economies. And it's going to spread not only within the region, even within the continent, because we need our beautiful Africa to grow, not to be taking raw materials or finished goods to the Western countries to be sold at very expensive prices when they have taken them for peanuts.
Make sure that the environment is conducive for people to empower themselves. For those of us who grew up in those days, there were batteries for radios and so forth. When it is a flood, they were taking it and put it in the sun. Any other experience with that? Yeah. That empowerment, you are taking power from the sun into here so that that's not what we do as people with a disability. What we want is the environment should be conducive so that we can do things on our own.
Places of cultural performances or services such as theaters, museums, cinemas, libraries, and tourism services must be accessible to persons with disabilities. The policy also directs us to create opportunities for persons with disabilities to organize, develop, and participate in disability-specific musical and sporting activities, and all musical and sporting venues and activities must be accessible to persons with disabilities, not just in terms of physical infrastructure, but also in terms of information and communication. And
we are calling for persons with disabilities to be also involved in national and international musical and sporting programs, not just as spectators, as we have seen here, but also as planners, implementers, and active participants.
Me believe that you're not gonna deceive me. Moyo wangu mneronda, shandinoda unozozvikona.
Tonyaje bugbaigava chiponino kuda kusigira ndafa. Reganditi yakutanda uri sura nachamodzi yechingwa.
Feels like I'm stuck in the past. I don't know how long it will last. Takapane ko kumunga kunaipa. Shiri serudo ayuanda kambu paisga. Desa moyo.
Chipo I know.
Desa moyo.
Usani
desa moyo.
Asiri kutambara moyo.
Desa moyo.
Chipo I know.
Desa moyo. Desa moyo.
Think about music, for example. It's not just for leisure, but also persons with disabilities can develop careers through music and sport, thus enhancing also their ability to fend not only for themselves, but also for their families, and also even contribute to the national development agenda.
Firstly, I can say our motto is to aspire, to inspire before we expire. A lot of people, they have a misconception about disability because they think people with disability, they have to go to in the streets to beg. But I remember when I was still a young boy, I told myself that I want to be different. I want to work for myself, and I look at myself and I only discover that the only thing that I have is my voice. So I want to use my voice as a source of my income. And I thank God because He gave me that talent. So I'm a songwriter and I'm also a singer. So we started to working with Chipo last year in May. So I want to thank God because He's the only one who can lift people up. And we are making waves just the way we are. And we are the first disabled people to reach 1 million views on YouTube in only 5 months. So I really want to thank God because I remember my mom told me that when I was born, the doctor had already predicted that I was not going to survive for more than 2 months. But God gave me life. And the reason why He gave me life is to be a singer today, is to inspire the generation of today. So I really want to thank God. And I also want to thank God for my partner, Chipo. A lot of people, they always say, you guys, when you do something together, your voices really blend. So I want to thank God for my partner.
Grounded in the policy, the way we are approaching disability in the country as government is we are taking a human rights approach as well as an intersectional approach. Human rights approach means we are saying persons with disability have a right to participate or to contribute meaningfully or to have their talents promoted and developed in all sectors, including in recreation and arts and sporting and music. And also when we talk about intersectionality, we are saying disability is not the only thing that persons with disabilities have. They have a gender, they have intelligence, they have capabilities. Because we tend to say when we look at persons with disabilities, we just see disability, particularly for persons with visible disability. And then we run the risk of thinking, oh, well, they must just focus on their disability. But it is not like that. They are persons first. That's why we use the term persons with disability. So we are acknowledging that they are people first, and then the disability comes thereafter. So they have a right to do everything else that every other person does.
So there is a paradigm shift in Zim where we are saying we are moving from the charity model of disability, where we think of persons with disabilities as people who should just sit by street corners and beg, and we drop a few coins and they must be grateful for whatever we give them. But we are saying they are talented, they are gifted, they are intelligent, they are capable. Disability is not inability, as Chipo and a colleague were just demonstrating when they were singing.
Thank you so much.